Hello and welcome to another session of PTSD. This week we will be covering ancient hypergates in our PvP training sessions and development. Sorry we missed it last week. We had a few real life issues, but we're back on schedule now and we will be completing the series in the next couple of weeks as well. I think we still have, what do we have left to do? We've got
Hypergate, Nova Coast, and Odessa.
Odessa. I'll save the best till last then, I guess. So this week we're doing every mathematician's favorite, which is ancient hypergates. So what is ancient hypergates? Ancient hypergates is an 8v8 war zone where the objective you have is to charge up your pylons. So reinforcements can be sent directly into battle. That's the fluff text for all. It's meant to be like you get this this Stargate type thing where you can just beam people into battle. In practical game terms, this means the first team to charge their pylon to 600 points will win the game. Now, there's a few different ways to charge up your pylon. You can kill members of the enemy team, everyone's favorite. That grants you points. You can collect the glowing orbs in the middle of the map. That also gets you points when you hand them into a pylon you control. And also capping the pylon itself also grants you points. Each round lasts 2.5 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and at the end of each round there's a like a massive explosion. So the only places that you can stand to be safe are either in the middle or the side tunnels. They close off with like a ray shield, you know, like from Phantom Menace style things. So if you got like a Darth Maul character, you can RP like fuck during that part. But if you die in the explosion, the kills will count towards the kill total. Okay. And the number of points that you get for that kill is assigned to the following round. So we'll go over objectives and scoring in a second, but let me just explain how it works if you die in the explosion very quickly. If you're in round 1, you get 3 points per kill. If you die at the end of the round 1 in the explosion, it's 4 points. It counts as round 2. Okay? If you die, you're sent back to the original spawn location, and the door rotations on this map are on a 25-second timer, which is very, very short. It's only ever closed for 15 seconds and open for 10 seconds. So it's stupidly fast to get back into the fight in most cases. And also, really, in most cases, the longest time it should take you to go from being dead to back into fighting at either middle or the nodes is about 25 seconds, depending on the class that you play in. Because the longest time is 15, plus it takes about 10 seconds to get over. So something to bear in mind, especially when we cover things over afterwards. So next off, we're going to go through the objectives and the scoring. Should we pop up a game here?
Yeah, certainly.
Okay. View challenge. All right, here we go. Ancient Hypergate. Oh, sorry, I got to click accept challenge, all right? Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so first things off the bat, what I'm going to do is just show you how the map interface works, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, okay? So you see up here in the top right corner, it shows you your team. I'm on the yellow team. You've got a yellow score and you've got a purple score. That's the enemy points team. Enemy team's energy potential, okay? Your team's energy potential. These will light up with whatever color is controlled by whichever team. So for example, if I cap that, that will go to yellow. If they cap it, it'll go to purple. And you can see here, you have the ×3, which is the amount of energy potential gained per kill. Yeah, so energy potential is basically points. Yeah, that's the translation. So there's 3 this round, and next round it'll be 4, and next round it'll be 5. Okay. You have this ray shield here, which stops you from jumping down into the middle. This is always up, but here you can see the middle area. These things here are the orbs that you collect. You have this little structure in the middle as well, and then underneath here, directly underneath, you have, I don't think I can show you right now, but you have the tunnels that go from side to side, okay? Now, for whatever reason, left is always the home or friendly node in these games. There's no real advantage to going left or right in terms of like the principle of what side to go to have as your home node, but for whatever reason, the entire game decided that going left is the correct way of doing it, okay? So that's what everyone does. So let me just make something abundantly clear from the very, very beginning of this map, because it's something that's overlooked a lot, and it's something that loses a lot of people's games. The only way you can score points in this game is by controlling a pylon. There's no conditional changes to that. That is the only way you score points. If you don't control a pylon, you don't get points for your kills. You don't get points for having a pylon, and you don't get points because you can't hand orbs in. So if you don't control one of these points, you can run 1,000 orbs and you can kill 1,000,000 players. It doesn't make any difference. You will get 0 points for doing that. So because the pylons are so important, let's go over these first of all. So I've just capped them there. You can see I've been granted 75 points, and I'll cover that for you in a second. So the pylons on this don't really have any specific names like grass or snow or whatever it is. They don't have names assigned to them like they normally do. Generally, people will do east, west, ours, or theirs. So because the left one is usually referred to as yours, if someone says, if you're looking at the map, yeah, and you spawned here, and someone says ours 2, it'll generally be that one. If it's theirs, then it'll generally be that one, and obviously flip that when it goes to the other side, okay? So ours and theirs is something that I hear a lot. East and west is another one. Left and right obviously works as well. If you want to do left and right, the easiest way to remind yourself which one's which is if they say left, it's the one that you should be controlling. If they say right, it's the one that you aren't controlling, typically speaking, okay? Pylons take 6 seconds to cap, and that's the shortest default time in any war zone. Zizing, can you just cap this for me for a second, please? So it's 6 seconds, and I know that Voidstar recently decreased their cap time, so it's the same, but it's far more common to get sap capped in Hypergates anyway because of how big the node is, and it's a 6-second cap timer as well. Any class with 6-second mezzes can sap cap, and even... Can you cap it?
Yeah.
Even short stuns can cause problems, because you can see here, if I got hard stunned after the first 2 seconds, I cannot cap that back. Now, when it comes to sap capping and clicking, you can see here, I can click anywhere in this area. I can click here, I can click there, I can click here. So you don't really have to like fiddle around clicking things. You would literally you can just sap and just pretty much click anywhere, and it'll go through. You can see there that Anyara just ran an orb in. We'll go over the orb scoring in a second, but you can see the points were added so that they add on immediately. Now I'm going to cap this back. Oh, 1 second. What a hero. You're welcome, team. But you can see there, because they ran that orb, they actually have 87 points. We have 75. We didn't get any kills. We didn't get any orbs. That's why there's a difference in points. I'm just going to go and die in the explosion here, okay? Now, because so many classes can sap cap or CC cap on this particular map, it's really, really paramount that you understand how to call incoming and that you have like a minimum defense, a minimum understanding of how node defense works. Because 6 seconds is not a long time. You can even get things like force push. Like if I'm kiting around the edges here and I get force pushed like down here, it's difficult for me to get back to interrupt because it's such a short cap timer, okay? So if you are going to defend, I would recommend that you make sure you at least have some kind of functional defensive knowledge. A lot of that you'll get from our first video as well. Now, just to go over this, capping a pylon gives your team 75 points. You can see there, we got another 75. Now, some people think the 75 points stacks. It does not. Zizing, if you want to cap it again. So just to show you, you only get the 75 points once, and they only persist if you control the pylon at the end of the round. So we have 75, we've capped once to 150, let me cap it again. It's back to 150, okay? So the 75 doesn't add on as potential points. It's a one-off thing for controlling it. Points are added to the total score of your team at the end of the round, okay? So again, if I had 600 points now and a bazillion points, whatever, if they cap this before the end of the round and we have no node, then we get 0 points, okay? The points become permanent at the end of the round. The only difference to this is points collected by orbs are immediate points. So if I was on, say, 590 and I ran an orb in, which took me above 600, the game ends immediately. I'm above 600, and that's that. We're done. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense to you all. I'm going to go over kills and orbs right now. Orbs can be collected from the middle structure. So let me just show you where that is, because we spent a lot of time on the side so far. You have 4 of these orbs here. Now you can pick these up. It's a 5-second cap timer. Once you have these orbs, they'll float around your body. You have the buff here. Vanishing does drop the orb. Stealthing drops the orb. All the things that would do that with Hutball, it's the same kind of thing with the orb, okay? You do get points like defensive, objective points, that kind of stuff, if you care about the scoreboards for picking them up. I just got 1,000 attacker points for doing that. So if you care about those things, then obviously orbs are great. And they persist until the end of the round, and then they are reset. Now, orbs will give you a varying amount of points relative to the round. So as you can see here, we've just gone into round 3, which is a ×5 multiplier. Now, what this means is, for every kill that we get, we will receive 5 points at the end of the round, and subsequent rounds. With orbs, they work slightly differently. They don't have a mathematical translation like they used to be. It used to be, it was like double the points, so it'd be 10 for an orb at the moment, but they've changed that. So now in round 5, you would get 18 points. It starts at 12 and goes up in multiples of 3. So in round 1, you get 12, in round 2, you get 15, in round 3, you get 18, 21, yeah. Quick maths, you can sort that out. So let's just go and run these orbs in very quickly so you can see exactly how this works. So we currently have 150 points, and that is the points total here. So this is the potential, this is the actual. So when I cap this, what will happen is, we'll gain 75 potential, but we'll also gain 18 actual. Oh, I'm sorry, 20, I beg your pardon. So we've gone from 150 to 170 as the instant score, and our potential is 275. Actually, we handed 2 in then, didn't we? Did you have one as well? I think he had one too.
I get that, but it disappeared.
Yes, it'll disappear as soon as you get near it. If you take orbs to the enemy pylon, it does nothing. It has to be a pylon that you control, otherwise you cannot hand in the orb. So if they controlled that one and I ran it there, nothing happens. It doesn't pass to anyone, nothing like that happens whatsoever. You just can't use it, okay? So just to go over that again, the amount of points you get per orb increases per round, starting at 12 and increasing by 3 each round. So 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, so on and so forth. I think that's the case, but I'm looking at the scoreline. Is that right?
I don't know. Because you just picked up
18 points.
Yes.
Which is at round 5. No, that's correct. But I don't understand how we got 20. Because we were on 150, weren't we?
Yeah, and then you got 20 plus 18.
Yeah. But that doesn't make any sense, does it?
No.
So I have no idea how that worked out. Is that going to be a bug? I think the points are definitely right, because I got them off the description that they posted. It's definitely 18. I just can't work out how we got... Oh, did anyone die in the explosion? No, that would have been more than 2, wouldn't it?
No.
That is a mystery to me.
The 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, like that then?
Sorry?
I don't know. Well, you got 20 and then 18. So if we had time, we would have said get another, and let's see what the increase.
Yeah, well, Yanra handed one in as well, didn't he?
Yeah, so you got 2 orbs and you got.
We handed 3 orbs in. That's the part that I don't get. When we handed the 2 in at the same time, we got 20 points, and then when I handed the last one in, we got 18. So this we can do it again. We can have a look at this round. So this round it should be 21 points per orb, yeah. So we're on 263. So what's that? 284.
Yeah.
Plus 75.
359.
Hang on a second. Let me just calculate this because I want to get it right. 263 plus 75 is 338 plus 21. 359.
Wait back, Yanra. Don't let the orbs go through.
Oh, we worked that out wrong, didn't we? And you just handed that
Which
out.
one?
Because the points at the end are different to the temporary points. We've gone to 371. I didn't see what the points were. Sorry, you handed that in.
350. It went to 350.
So we just got 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is correct.
You handed in your orbs.
Yeah.
But you got nothing for them.
So maybe it's if you hand an orb in when you cap, it doesn't count. Can you not pick that up, please, mate?
Yeah. Done.
Let me go and cap this one. So 296, it should add the 21 points onto that straight away, shouldn't it?
Yeah, that should take you up to 317.
317. Instant. 308.
9 points left.
I don't understand that at all. There's nothing about that in the rules whatsoever.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, welcome, Shinra.
Hi.
Hello.
I had
So, I guess what it is something like if you get it as you cap, you get half points. Well, it's not even half points, it was 9 points, wasn't it?
9 is 8.5 rounded up, I guess. Can't get half points.
So half of 21 though is going to be.
Oh, sorry, that's 10.
10.
That's 11. 10.5, 11.
If I hand this in now, yeah, 21.
You only got you got this point.
There's not more points. If you cap the enemy's pylon, you get the 2 times 75, 2 times kills, but you don't get 2 times orbs. Let me just try that again. I've never really looked at the interaction that closely, and I think this is actually quite important to know.
Because in the end, if this happens and you have 4 people carrying orbs, you want the person who's not carrying orbs.
It might just be the person who's capping it. Yanra, can you go and cap our pylon, please? So we'll just do this 2 different ways here, yeah? I'll run into this pylon that we've already pre-capped and see how many we get, and then I'll go over to the other one and I'll cap on that one.
If you're not careful.
The pylon is always, we tried today, I don't know, 75, doesn't matter in which round.
Yeah, it's always 75, I know that. What we're looking at here is points for orbs. So we're on 479, it's round 5, so I should get 24 points for this, yeah? 7-9, yeah, that's 24 points. So let me see what I get when I hand in one and cap at the same time. So we're on 503, so I should go to 527. 24 points I said, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we should go to 527.
I'm uncapping this one just so you don't win straight away.
We wouldn't win straight away anyway.
Your total points will take you over 600.
No, it wouldn't.
With both plans.
Yeah, because the 75's added at the end. Not.
Yeah, no, so you'd have to cap it before. Yeah, you're right.
So 503, so we should get 24 points.
Be at 527.
Nope, 517.
Is it 10 points less? It's 10 points less each time, I think.
But why?
Okay, I can't tell you why, but every time it's been 10 points less.
Okay, so basically, if you cap with an orb, you get 10 points less for whatever reason. I've literally played this map for years, and I have never realized that at all. So don't feel bad if you didn't realize that either. And if you did, congratulations. You are clearly smarter than the average bear. I don't know what else to say about that one. That's super weird to me.
You mean even in the first round, if I cap a pylon having an orb, I don't get the 75 plus 12? I get
Correct.
less.
You get 10, you get 2.
You only get 2.
You should get 18. Yeah?
Yes.
Round 1 is 18. That's why we got 20, wasn't it? Because mine was 2 and his was 18.
Yeah.
Well, you should get 87 in the first round. 75 for the pylon plus 12 for the orb.
So if you hand an orb in just normally, you get the full amount. If you cap the pylon at the same time you control, then you get 10 points less by the looks of it. I don't know why that's a mechanic. I'm going to assume that it's a bug. But anyway, what a learning experience for everyone. I've literally never even heard of that. Alright, cool. Well, we covered orbs pretty well now. I'm just going to show you a chart that I did. And I'll put a link to it in chat as well if you want to see it. So this is the old versus new point scoring system. And it lays out what they would be and all the rest of the jazz. So you can see how many points kills are worth and all the rest of it. So you got the new orbs at 12, 15... Wait, it's 12? So it starts off with 12,
yeah.
Not 18. Where did I get 18 from? Oh, point per kill, sorry, I was looking at. Yeah, so 12, how did we get 20 in the first round then?
Well, did we take any orbs in the first round?
Yeah, we had 2. So it must have been 12 and 8. Okay, so I think it's just easier to say here that there's some kind of fuckery. If you cap and hand one in at the same time, the points don't work properly. There's probably some kind of mechanic to it, and if we can work it out, I'll check it in the notes when it goes up to YouTube or the description when we do it that way as well. But we're going to need to dick around to work that out a little bit, and I don't really want to dick around that much. Just know that if you cap at the same time you hand an orb in, you get less than optimum points for doing it, okay? Snave, I see what it's doing. It's counting the orb with the cap as the old point value. I don't understand what that means.
I think what I meant by that is if you cap... Let's say I don't know, we're on what, round 8?
Round 6.
So if we cap with the orb, we get the points from an orb gives from round 5. But I'm not sure if that's what you mean.
Oh, yes, that might be correct actually. So this time, we can check this now. So 592, but no, it's less than 10 different. It's more than 10 difference. So it can't be, this should be, if that's true, we'd get 24 points here, yeah?
Yeah.
But we won't get 24 points here. This should be, this orb should be 27 points. We can just work it out now. What was it? What's this one? 608.
That gives 16.
16. So it's 10 less, or 11 less.
Yeah.
So it's roughly 10 less per round. I don't know, man.
This will take a bit of investigating.
Yeah, what we'd have to do basically, right, is cap each round.
Yeah.
And then write down the difference in points. And then we can try and see if there's any kind of formula to it. But I don't think it's a particularly pressing matter.
You just get less points, so that someone else cap if you're holding an orb and don't be greedy.
Yes. It's something which is situational, but we can do it afterwards, and we'll work it out, and I'll put it in the description or in the notes or whatever. All right, okay, excellent. That was a bit of a diversion there. So I don't even know where I was with this. Orbs, yeah, they're collected from the inner side. That's right. So we've gone through the points of the orbs, and I've shown you how it stacks up each round from 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. Can we pop up another one, please? If anyone wants to invite Shinra as well to the group.
Oh, that's it.
Cap time is 6 seconds. It's the same that it was before. Now, we're going to go over the kills, the kill section here for a second. So the way that getting points through kills works is every round there's a little X potential points per kill, or energy potential per kill, sorry. That isn't the round number, that's the amount of points you get per kill. The amount you get increases by 1 each round, which is currently 3. So next round will be 4, next round will be 5, next round will be 6, and so on and so forth. With the balls, yeah, I thought it was longer than 5 seconds myself, but apparently it was always 5 seconds. So if I die 10 times this round, at the end of the round, the enemy team will have 30 points from my deaths. Yeah, because it's 3 per kill. I died 10 times, it's 30 points. But wait, there's more. The problem with kill points, or the good thing about kill points, is they repeat every round. So if I died 10 times in round 1, you get 30 points if you cap a pylon in round 1. You get another 30 points if you get a pylon in round 2, another 30 points in round 4, and another 30 points in round 5. That 30 points will repeat every single round. So if you have a lot of deaths in round 1, you're going to be in a bit of a bad spot. Because what's going to happen is every time they cap the pylon, they get those points again. Now obviously the points increase and yada yada yada, so as time goes on, kills are worth more, but also you get less rounds to milk the kill. So to give you an idea, assuming the game goes full distance, which is 6 rounds, the 7th round is like a half round, it doesn't really count. the points you get per kill in round 1 is 18 points. And I'm just going to, I'll just leave them on auto run and show you this now. So just to show you the same document again. You have points per kill in round 1, again, assuming we go the full distance of 6 rounds. 1 kill is worth 18 points, round 2 is 20, round 3 is 20, round 4 is 18, round 5 is 14, and round 8 is 8, because it's the last round. So as you can see from this, until you get to until you get to round 5, basically, there's not really a huge benefit to getting orbs. Because this is pretty much the same as that, and that is pretty much the same as that. So whether you get a kill or an orb, it doesn't really make a difference. There's a 10-point swing there, which is obviously a lot more, and there's a huge point, what's that, 11 points? So, oh wait, no, so what is it? I'm bad at math. 19-point swing there. So there's a, no, it's a, what? Yeah. So there's a big difference in points and orbs towards the end. So if you're in a close game in round 6, you're probably better off running orbs, because you'll get 27 per orb as opposed to 8 for each kill. Same thing for round 5, you get 14 for each new kill, 24 points for each orb that you run. So the long and the short of this is, if you are playing a kill-based strategy where you want to kill as many people as possible, you want to kill everyone up until round 4, or until they have the 6 times modifier, because that is still the most effective way, pretty much, of getting the most points during the rest of the game. After that, switching to orbs is fine. The only other time you really want to switch to orbs is if it's a massacre, and you have enough downtime to run orbs. So the game has a maximum of 6 rounds. The 7th round is a half round, where basically if you can cap, and it lasts about 40 seconds, including the timer to get outside. So if you can cap the pylon and you're behind, it doesn't matter, because the round never ends, so you don't get the points at the end of the round. You would literally have to cap and hand an orb in immediately, and there's just really not enough time to do that, so I wouldn't particularly care about what happens in the last round. It's there's not really much you can do to change things at that point in time anyway. It's just how the game is structured. Now, this scoring system is obviously very, very complicated. You just gained 6 points for that one.
Yeah, that was half of what I should have got by placing it. Therefore 18 overall. So
we didn't control that node then, did we?
No, you didn't. So I capped that.
So we got 6 points for that one. Maybe it's random, because I can't work out how we got 20. Although Yanro probably handed his in at the same time as me.
If you had 2 people hand it in,
yeah, it still doesn't work out, does it?
6, 6, 18, 30.
The mystery. Alright. Do you want to just do these as we go along, and then write down the number? We'll have a look at it.
Yeah, I'm recording it.
Okay, brilliant. So yeah, does anyone have any questions about the scoring system in this game? Because it's complicated. It's the most complicated scoring in the game, and you probably should have questions.
I have a question.
Okay.
I was so bugged.
My main question is how I've never seen this before.
Yeah, I know.
I tell you what, you go and hand one into yours, right? And then I'll take it off you and hand one in at the same time. Let's see if that makes a difference.
So,
you're on 168.
Come to ours.
So then we cap it with the orb Shinra. So I should technically get 20 points.
80. No, wait, 15.
15. Yeah, no, we don't have one. So I should get 15. So I should go up to 183.
176. What's the point difference there?
8. That was 8 points I got.
8 points? So if I cap you a pylon, do I get the full amount, or do I get 8 points as well?
Yeah.
Nope, I get 8 points too.
But that's 10 less. That's 10. That was 10 less.
No, it's 5 points, 15 points this round.
Oh, 7 points.
Like half, maybe?
Half rounded up, I presume.
Yeah, alright, we'll just have to write these down and work it out, I guess. I don't know how else we're going to do it. But it's definitely 8. This is a side project.
Yeah, we'll do this.
I think Nene's worked it out. He's not just a pretty face. Do you cap faster if more people click? No, you do not. It is 6 seconds no matter what happens. It is always going to be 6 seconds. Yeah, he got 8 for that one as well.
Yeah.
Let me just check. This is still 15.
Yeah, you should ding up to 31 here.
Yeah. Okay. The next round is supposed to be 18, but you only get 10 points. So is it just -8 each time?
No, because it was -6 the first time.
Yeah, I know. There's no point in getting the old beer, is there? Wait for the next round. Okay. The next thing we want to go over, well, unless anyone has any more questions about the scoring system. Just to recap quickly, yeah. If you cap a pylon, you get 75 points at the end of the round. You have to control a pylon to get points from any other sources. Orbs, we'll just assume that orbs work. Orbs start at 12 points in round 1, and then increase by 3 every further round. So 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. Kills start at 3 and go up by 1 each round. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The points you get from kills and from the pylon are added at the end of the round. The points you get from orbs are added instantly. The first team to 600 wins. So in theory, if you had a game which was like 590, 590 with a round to go, and they capped their pylon and they went to like 18,000, and you ran 1 orb, you would win, because your 1 orb would take you over the threshold. How many did you get then? Oh, I'm running 1 now anyway, so it's...
Wait, no, that's just a base cap we got, because that's plus 75.
Base cap.
Oh, right, okay. 181 we have at the moment, and I should get... What round will be 5? 21? 18.
Yeah, you should get 18.
Well, an NA is saying we'll get 10 points. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I think we'll get 10.
Yep, 191. Spot on.
Okay, I think if you're capping it increments by 2 each time, so it goes 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. That's my prediction.
Yeah, but why? Why does it do that?
Okay, I've given you the pattern. You can go and ask BioWare why they have it.
Dear BioWare.
Why is this math like this?
Why did you do this? Alright, so it goes up by 2, so the next one should be 12 then. Alright, I guess that's a bonus factoid for you guys. I don't think it has any practical implications. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Next up, we're going to go over buffs. So, Zyzine, do you want to show us around?
Yeah, cool. So there's the 3 traditional buff types. Damage boost, health boost, speed boost. Here's the damage boost. No, fix it up, you can highlight it. As we said before, this buff is bugged. It only actually gives you the bonus to damage, not the defense or healing. Behind the pylon, you have the health pack. We mentioned before it's 70% of your health, and it is affected by trauma. And then finally, you have the speed boost, which is under both the spawn bases. All of the respawn times are the same as the other maps.
Minute 30, is it?
Pardon?
Is it a minute 30 for the respawn?
Yeah, I think so. So it's important to be aware of that if you use it at the end of a round. If you try to then use it at the start of another round, so you're running away from mid, it doesn't respawn straight away. So, yeah, that's just something to be aware of. The map is symmetrical, so the speed buff here, it's the same on the other side, underneath the other base, and the DPS and heal nodes are the same on each side of the map for each pylon.
Yeah, it's just mirrored, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just...
Okay, so we've gone over weird pointing, where the buffs are. Let's dip into class roles here. And again, if you want to have a more in-depth understanding of the class roles, what you can do is go back and watch the first session where we went into it in a little bit more detail. I'm just going to go and cap this to confirm that we do get 12 points this round.
Yeah.
And if it's 12, then I'm perfectly happy just not doing the rest, because it's enough of a pattern to me.
What's the betting? It's 11.
Oh, please don't be 11. So we're on 284.
I'm not doing it anymore.
We're gonna go to 296.
Yeah.
Come on, baby. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm fine with that.
All right. Well, I mean, Jesus Christ.
Enemies have seized a
So it goes up in multiple of 2s, starting at 8.
No, starting at 6, then 8, then
6,
10, then
sorry,
12.
yeah, 6, 8. Let me just add these in so I got a track of them. 10, 12, 14. Alright, cool. Good enough. I'm glad we solved that, because that would have done my nut in for a while.
I would have been irritated.
Yeah, I hate stuff like that. 6, 8, 10. Well, interestingly enough, I don't know if you find this... I find this interesting. That's the old scoring system. So you know they changed the point value of the orbs?
Oh, so they updated half of the...
Yeah, they didn't update...
half their system.
Yeah, they didn't update what happens when you cap the node with an orb. It's literally the same point system. Because I'll show you now, on the spreadsheet that I did, I was trying to work out the difference between the old points and new points. So bugged and old are exactly the same.
Oh, wink, wink, by the way. If you're
We cracked the code, boys! We worked it out! Oh, God. You just make me a dev now. Be easier that way. Anyway, class roles. So, Sork, I think that's your area of expertise, isn't it, Lysine?
Somewhat.
Alright, it's going to be the end of the round in a second, so...
Okay.
Let's head back to mid, I guess, for the time being. Any tips at mid for Sork?
Yeah, pull people in if they get pushed out. Because the points count towards the next round if you die in the explosion. If you save someone in the first round, go into the explosion, you save yourself 4 points for 3 rounds, which is 20 points per round in the maximum game. Yeah, usually pull save someone. Place your phase inside, so if you're running in and there's someone on the line, you can have phase in and you won't get pushed out yourself. Not much about that. You can position yourself to knock people out, of course, as well. That's the main things for being a Sork inside the mid. Else, typical people stand at the back, do damage or heal. Yeah.
Do you think Sorks have any particular role on this map?
They're great at defending, as usual. As you mentioned earlier, sack caps are so common. If your team really have many good defenders, Sorks are probably the best. Or Sorks are the best, I'll say. They have stun barrier, so that's 1 CC that they can prevent. They have phase walk, which means they can stand away from the pylon, which makes sap capping harder. And they can phase walk back. They then have their CC breaker that breaks the second CC. We'll go for operative, so let's say that's your sleep dart that you've negated. And because I've stunned you and put you in combat, you'd have to use your combat stealth, which you probably won't want to do. I don't know, say if I was trying to cap.
Yeah, I can try and cap. You can just show him. Or should I just,
yeah, so if you just do your, literally, that.
You son of a...
then the first thing I want to do is put him in combat, so he stealth up.
You slow boy! It doesn't matter anyway. No.
There you go. So I'm now fully white bar, so I won't be able to do anything. But that's my CC breaker down, but if I stood around by the pylon, Knave would then just grenade me, but then I have barrier to break that one as well. And therefore, Snape's used all of his major CCs, I've been white barred, and the last thing he has is a 6 second CC, the 4 second CC, which I should be able to interrupt myself because it's not long enough.
Yep.
To prevent the cap. So yeah, in terms of phase walking, again, you want to place your phase walk on there and stand back. I quite like to stand back here. This means that I'm not directly in the line of sight by the enemies. And they can't see me when they're coming out of their spawn, therefore quite a few times they've just unstealthed, and that means they don't even use their first...
I do that all the time.
Their first mez on me, and it's just great, and then you can just phase walk back.
What do you think about the people who use phase walk to get to the pylon faster at the start of a round?
It's interesting because you can get to there. Given there's so much mobility in the game now, it's not as great as it used to be. Take for example on operative versus assault. So my phase walk is on there. If you race, I am not going to get to the pylon and cap it before you can get there to interrupt me. Now.
See, I think it's irrelevant because you can't cap the node, can you, for the first couple of seconds?
Yeah, so it's not great, which is why I only like to place it there when I'm defending.
Well, but I think it's actually negative to do it. I think it's a bad play. The reason being is, if you are defending on the off node, and I'll just do this in stealth, right? So you can see he still can't cap it.
But yeah.
And it comes online now. But the difference is, I'm in stealth now, and you are capping, which means I have the initiative for sap cap play. Whereas if I'm here first, then I'm generally going to try and cap it. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it kind of gives away your hand a little bit. But and you can, if you stand there, I think you can get out of range and cap still. Or you're on the node, aren't you? It's 10 meters, isn't it, Bubble Pop?
I don't think it is.
Oh, isn't it? What is it then? I thought it was 10. Oh, am I thinking the shoulder cannon?
You're 10 meters away, entrance done.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So what is the range on it? It's not 10 meters, is it? Right now?
It doesn't tell me. It's on cooldown.
I actually can't remember what the range is. Is it 5 meters?
It doesn't actually say the tilt. It doesn't say.
If it's a melee thing, probably it's gonna be 4.
Yeah.
Okay, try it now. That's 4. No, go back a bit. Yeah, try it now. That's 4-2. Give it a bash. No, that hits me. That's over 4 meters.
5 meters, I'd reckon. But yeah, you can stand directly on the middle.
It's 5 meters. Here we go. Okay, so it's 5 meters. So because the reason that's important is, I can click that from here. That's 4.97 meters. So unless you're on that position, I would be able to get 5 meters away from you.
Yeah.
Like that is.
If I'm standing here, I don't think I can stun you.
No. So it's 5 meters.
You have to stand directly in the middle to prevent being sap capped, which is contradictory to every other node where you don't really want to stand there. And that's where you'd want to push or phase walk. So if you were double sap capped, you could then get there and you'd be able to sap anyone and defend it.
Yeah, it's important to know the exact meter range on these things, because you can bypass it by putting it in the right place, can't you? And if you don't put it in the right place, you can get punished. So put it bang in the middle, boys. Bang in the middle. Next up we have PT. Who's our PT expert?
Not expert, but I played from time to time.
Come on, Shinra, you're a PT expert. You can press all 5 buttons they have.
Yeah. So, well, for PT, when he's defending with shoulder cannon, it's exactly the same as we showed with the Sork. You have to be exactly in the center, not because of the reaching of the shoulder cannon, but because you can always get pushed by an overload, and then mass, then I can cap without you. For example, if I stay here, being able to use
You're
your
about
shoulder
to die
cannon.
to pylons.
Oh yeah. So. No way. No way. Come closer. No. All right. So that's mainly because you can get pushed and masked. Well, I died in the base. I didn't even get down.
I think that's a bug as well, but that also counts towards the scoring of their points as well.
Yes.
So that, it's a bit buggy, because if you die in your base after respawning, I think that counts to the enemy's points.
Is there anything else specific about PTs on this map? Like any tips you would give to PTs, or? The no defensive one is fairly standard now, isn't it?
The concept of helping a teammate that is trying to cap by slowing down possible enemies that are trying to reaching him. For example, you have your grab that comes to handy. You can grab a person to the opposite direction while your teammate is capping, giving him
pull is really
time.
strong, isn't it, for that kind of stuff as well?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else for PTs really. Just your normal thing. If you're in the middle, hump the pillar.
Yeah, probably use your hydraulic overrides when you're coming back from an when the pylon is gonna explode, because you have the immunity to roots and stuff.
Yeah,
can be useful. It doesn't have any pushes, so yeah. Just as the grab that is useful, and a good defender as always.
Mercenaries, I don't really think there's anything specific for mercs on this map, is there? It's just your general thing about using your movement abilities. Grenades interrupt sap caps if you can land them between the two.
Exactly. It doesn't have anything.
Otherwise, just do merc things, you know?
Just don't die.
Yeah. Well, that is doing merc things.
I do have a point for range, but it's to do with positioning in mid, and there is a place where you can climb up, and melees won't be able to hit you. And they have to spend a bit of time climbing up to be able to reach you.
Okay, let's not show that.
Yeah, I don't really want to, because it's quite nice position as a sniper.
We're not going to. Snipers, so one thing, I don't think we've really mentioned it enough, is if you're a sniper and you go into cap, use entrench. That's it, just use entrench. if you use Entrench, you can't get sapped, slowed, you can't get anything. So that cap is going to go through unless the person breaks stealth. So to explain to you the difference between Entrench and not Entrench, if you're trying to cap something, you got a 6-second cap with an 8-second mez. So that's 14 seconds. I can do it twice, so that's 28 seconds. It's not going to be that perfect because you'll have seconds either way. But it's the difference between a 25-second stall and a 0-second stall. Because as soon as you start capping with Entrench, you have to get shot or hit to break the cap. So you can knock effectively 20 seconds off a stall by doing it. If you don't do that, then what happens is you get sapped, cap, and then you go to cap again, which is another 6 seconds, and you get shot again. So you're looking at 30 seconds, and then you're engaging with the operative. There's a tremendous difference, and there's only 2.5 minutes in the round. So unless there's multiple people there, are you gonna be able to do anything in 2 minutes to do something? And if there are multiple people there, it just means that the operative is in even more trouble because they're out of stealth immediately. So the more players there, the more important it is that you do that because you're still taking time off them. So yeah, use Entrench.
I also want to mention on that note with snipers, after you're in a trench and if someone's snap capping you, the first thing you want to be doing is throwing your flash, your 8-second CC at them. And that means you can then cap, and unless they roll it or dodge it, they then you then force them to use SCC breaker straight at the start of the fight as well, or you cap. So
even the knockback is decent because that prevents any follow-up stuns.
Orbital strike too.
Yeah, it's very obnoxious.
Rip orbital strike.
Yeah. There used to be positions you could roll to. Using your take cover ability. I'm not sure if they exist anymore. But you used to be able to roll up the sides of some of these.
Yeah, I can show you some common places where snipers hang out. And it's mainly to do with suppressive fire. Because obviously this is a real open space here. So suppressive fire will always hit people. But you see a lot of them standing like up here. Now be careful with this because you can get stuck here and die. It's happened to me quite a few times.
Yeah.
But if you want to just stand in the middle for a second. I'm not sure where the range is here.
About 30 meters.
Yeah, 30 meters. So what's suppressive fire? 40?
35.
35.
But it's an AoE, so it hits
you can get it
larger.
down there. So you can stand here and you can defend, or you can put your back up here if you don't want to get backstabbed or that kind of stuff. You also see them kind of standing up on this one as well. The idea is to make it harder for people to hit you. This one isn't so great in my opinion. You see it on this one as here up here as well. People will
be able to get really high on this one as well.
I think you still can. I see some people like standing up there. And it's the same thing on the other side as well. There's points where you can stand, and I'll show you this too now.
Are there people to hit you and also keep quite a big distance, so in case you get sapped and you're not under Entrench, they still have to parkour a long distance to reach the pylon. Yeah.
So I see a lot of snipers like hanging out here on this one. I mean that's kind of a whatever positioning, but you can also go up on these things here, put you in a good position. You can kind of tuck yourself away in this one. Quite hard to see you. And across on the other side there's a similar thing, yeah. So you can basically jump on these little areas and you can rain down. I see a lot of snipers as well defending up here.
That one I don't like as much.
No, I don't think this one is... I don't think that's any different than standing like here. There's no real advantage to standing there. There can be a disadvantage where if you stand too close, you can cut off the corner of the node, and if you aren't paying attention, someone can cap it without you realizing. But I would just say you either want to be in an elevated position or just in a common position. Like even just standing here would be fine if you're just looking to do the interrupts with the AOE and whatnot. But yeah, use Entrench. What class is next? So, operative. All right, here we go. So operatives are actually brilliant on this map.
Well, they skipped Sin, but
look up, Sin? See where I'm standing.
No, I'm gonna zoom right in so no one can see it. I'm hiding. I won't teach your black martial arts. I am pure. Sorry, did you say it was Sins next?
Yeah, we skipped them, I think.
Oh yeah, cool. Let's do Sins then.
Well, Sin has the AoE taunt that is really useful when you want to try to cap, and you don't know if there's a stealther. So I'm gonna show you.
It's gone the other way to me on. Coming to you now.
If Snave is around here, which he shouldn't be, but in case, if he's close to here and is in stealth, and I use my AoE taunt.
Wait. Oh, you just did it. Never mind.
Okay.
No, it's too late. So, yeah,
Yeah.
to wait for the cooldown.
Well, that will put me in combat, and he will not be able to sub-cap me when I'm going for the cap. And other important things. Well, sub-caps. We will go over it later. The problem with Sin is just compared to Operative is that it has a single target mass, so you're gonna be able to sub-cap only if the defender is alone. Unless you are paired with somebody else, another stealther, for example. In general, don't always, just because you can doesn't mean that you always have to go for the sub cap. We also go over it later. You want to check as a Sin the defender movements. For example, if I see a guy, let's say a Juggernaut, alright, he's defending here. He goes up and down, and suddenly he goes away. That's very suspicious. It means that probably a stealther took his place and is defending. So be careful, always check. What else? Try to force the defender's breaker as a Sin. So you can maybe come back later after you use it and sub-cap him.
Yeah, one thing on that I would say, if you're going to do that type of play where your main takeaway is using a breaker, do it towards the end of the round so that the cooldown clips into the second round.
Yeah. If the defender is the same guy, yeah. You're great at defending pylons, as especially Sin Tank and Deception. Know when to break. If you're gonna caught while defending, let's say I'm really close, Snave can see me in stealth, and for some reason is able to sep and try to go for the cap. You can break it. What you want to do then is immediately either go in stealth or for Shroud. It's safer to go for Shroud, because if you have the utility, you also have the Shroud of Madness after you Force Cloak. So that will prevent you from getting sapped again and sub-capped. So in this case, it's not bad, let's say, to break even if you don't have a full resolve. You just want to prevent the cap, and you have the meanings for it. Let's say I'm here. You can see. I think you can see me because I didn't get the. Yeah. So if you want to go for the sub-cap.
Yeah.
If I'm really fast and I do like that, well, if even at the time...
That was actually very fast, yeah. But you're already in stealth, weren't you?
Yes. In this case, I didn't use the Shroud, I just went for the... normal stealth and sap. You won't expect it. I mean, you decided the tempo of it, so it's not... it's not that big of a deal. But now I don't have any breaker, so I need to stay in stealth and stay out of it as much as possible. Other things, yeah, try to predict the mass of the enemy when you use the Shroud. That's really important in general, but specifically in this scenario. When you want to go for DPS as a deception, try to identify the squishy targets and kill them over and over, because as we said before,
yeah, that's super important in this map as well.
Kills that you do in the first round are gonna count a lot during the whole match, and even later. So try to identify them.
So with that, when you say try to identify them, would you look for a specifically weak... Okay, I guess it's the two of them, isn't it? You'd look for a specifically weak target that you can tunnel to kind of like farm for kills. But also, when you're just doing normal gameplay, look for the people who are dropping that can get finished off with 1 or 2 hits. Because, like, Sin's and mobile classes, you've got between Phantom Shroud and Force Speed. And if you can land, like, say, 20-30k damage in a small frame of time, you can basically finish that person off. So,
and you have a bonus on it. The Sith Executioner gives you a bonus on people that has HP under 30%. Now it's nerfed compared to before, but you still have a 3% damage increase. So. Good. And Another thing, well, yeah. One thing that you can do, for example, as a Sin, you don't always want to go for the cap. For example, let's say, when we come back, Nihalia is going for the cap, and let's say Yarna is trying to go for him. As a Sin, you're invisible. You try to intercept Yanra and sap him before he can reach your teammate. You sap him once, maybe he breaks, you sap him twice, or you can also whirlwind him. It doesn't matter if you get out of stealth.
Low slash is really good for that as well.
Low
when there's
slash,
multiple people.
of course. Try to play with your CC in a way that it will prevent him to reach your teammate that is capping. They won't expect it, as I said, because you're essentially invisible. So it's obvious that Nihalia is capping here, but you're staying behind in stealth, and you intercept the guy that comes from either the middle or from the spawn. So that's the case, for example, where I wanted to add that the face walk in a place like here, for example, is kinda useful, because of course it's not that useful if you're alone, because you in a race, Snave against the Sork, it doesn't really matter if you use the face walk to come here and try to cap, because Snave will reach him. But if you use the face walk and somebody's coming from the spawn, is already there, I intercept the guy that is around here and sap him, giving quite a lot of time to him for capping. You have to try to use these combos, of course, rather if you know the guy that is doing it, so that they can work, but just to know. As an A-thread, you want to, well, you have a really huge pressure, especially when the enemies stick together. So you want to stay in the core of the fight, which is usually in mid, where you control the orbs.
Something to touch on quickly there, because we've done a lot of stuff on the node itself, because that's how you win and lose games. But if you're playing a DPS class that is mainly, like, for example, Mara or Hatred Sin or Madness Sork, you should be at mid. If you aren't doing splits, yeah, you should be at mid, just trying to do as much cleave as you possibly can.
Yeah. Also, as a tank, I mean, you can go for a sap cap, and you can also defend really good.
I hate tanks on this map.
Thanks.
Tanks can bring so much to a big fight.
If you want to see why tanks are broken, you play against a good one on this map.
Yeah. Because you will guard your healer, you will be hard to kill, and you will give a lot of debuffs to all the enemies, to accuracy and damage. You will see the benefits of it. One more thing.
I've never looked at the ceiling in here. Have you ever looked at the ceiling? Look straight up.
Sorry?
Look, have you ever looked at the ceiling during the explosions? I've literally never seen that before. Crazy.
Ah, yeah.
I think if you're doing that mid-fight, then I'm very impressed.
There's so many things in this game I don't notice because I'm too busy pressing buttons.
Thanks.
Sorry, Shin, what was the next bit?
Yeah. So another thing, yeah, the before the explosion, something really annoying that you should always do are pushbacks. Because, as we said before, they give points to your team when you cap again a pylon, and this works particularly good if you have electric bindings utility that will root the targets for 5 seconds. It gets can break it with damage after 2 seconds, but still, it's very useful. That will force them either to use some jump, some mobility, some movement impairing immunity skill. Anyway, it's useful. And also whirlwind them or low slash them just outside the perimeter and get caught in the explosion is very good.
Just touching on the explosion part for a second here, because the knockback, if you can get a couple of people out from mid into the explosion, is great. Because obviously the round resets, so those players are going to be running back in, so you'll have more of your team versus less of their team as a result, which you can then compound into more kills, into more points. So if you can like knock a healer out at the end of the round, it's usually good, because you have the entire duration of the explosion to tunnel the rest of the team. One thing I would say on there is be very careful what cooldowns you use. Because, like, for example, if I'm doing off-node shenanigans and I flashbang someone inside it, that just means I don't have flashbang. And I'm probably going to need that in the next minute. So just be aware of the timing of your cooldowns. Like, what's the cooldown on knockback? And it's like 20 seconds for you? 15 seconds?
If you get the utility, 16.3, depends on the alacrity.
Oh, okay. So that's a short one, you know, you can use it as and when.
Yeah.
But things like lift...
It's 55. Also, depends on the alacrity. I have 55.7.
You can kind of shoehorn that in. I would just say if you're looking to like do a sap cap the next round, just be aware if you do it at the end, it's not going to be.
Yes.
There's a chance it won't be available. It might be. It depends on what the routine is, but there's a chance it won't. Just bear that in mind.
The really helpful thing when you go for a sap cap is to have your force cloak. Because you can essentially try to sap cap somebody at first with mind sap, second time with a whirlwind, third time with a force cloak sap cap. So it's really useful. Another thing that you can do with a tank, by the way, is pulling people out before the explosion and go back in either with a phantom stride or a force speed. I mean, you pull them out, you stun them, either with a whirlwind or a heart stun or a grenade, whatever, just to leave them there, and then go back in. It doesn't work as good as a phase walk, but it's still doable.
Just on that note of going and pulling people out, if you're a DPS, and I guess we'll come to this later for pseudocides and tactics, is it worth to trade your life for, say, trading one of their healers as a tank sin or as a power tech with a pool?
As a power tech, yeah, probably.
As a power tech, I would say yes. Trading points always depends though on your score, but yeah, for sure, why not?
Well, think of it like if you're doing a 4v4, right? If you're doing an arena, would you sacrifice a DPS to kill their healer?
Yes.
Yeah. Would you sacrifice a tank to kill their healer? Maybe.
Maybe.
It depends on the healer. It depends on the tank.
Yeah.
But DPS, you just make that change like instantly, wouldn't you? Just sacrifice them instantly. So yeah, PT it 100%. You might die, but you're doing it for. You're gonna die anyway. You're a PT.
Yeah. If I'm dying, I'm taking one with you. One with me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, yeah, as I said, use your whirlwind, sap, grenades on enemies when you're going back to mid just before the explosion.
My game's crashed here, boys.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely crashed.
Yeah, no problem. We'll wait for you.
It just happens every now and then. I don't know what's causing it. It's happened since the last kind of update, but I don't know what. I thought it was the OBS because I was using a new build of OBS, but it happens whether or not I'm using it.
Well, if it happened after the patch, then it'd be BioWare bugs.
Possibly. Possibly. Do you want to jump out of that one? We'll just jump into a new one now. I'm just like back in.
No, is there anything else on Sins you want to see?
No. We'll go on over SAPCAP later, so.
We should probably do a separate video on SAPCAPs.
You could actually. You could do a separate video on all the tactics.
It's a juicy, juicy topic, you know?
I mean, SAPCAPs are the best, especially in this map, so yeah.
What class are we doing next?
We've got Operative, Marauders and Juggernauts, I believe.
Okay,
yeah.
So let's, if you want to jump out and then just start again, get cracking.
Are you still leader?
No, Yanra is leader now.
Oh, you just need to accept challenge, Shannon.
Do you have to click view challenge? Either it doesn't work?
Yeah, you click on view challenge and you click accept.
I thought it was, but I'm not leader.
Yanra need to do it?
Yeah, Yanra, you need to do it.
Is it happening to you as well, Midichlorian? Does my heavy stuff in my PC? No, my PC isn't under any stress right now. 50% memory, 50% CPU. So I don't know what's causing it. Anyway, so let's do operatives. So operatives are very good on this map. They fit kind of a lot of different roles. You can by all means go in the middle, do a typical DPS approach to it. If you are going for the DPS approach, and again, there's nothing wrong with that, it would go back to what me and Shinra were talking about earlier on. You either want to find a priority target, like for example a healer, that you're going to try and shut down and kill as much as possible, or you're going to try and find a weak target, which you're going to try and kill as much as possible for points, or you're going to try and go from target to target, hitting people who are maybe on like 10-20%, just trying to finish them off. That's really where you shine on that class. If you're something like lethality, by all means go balls deep at mid. This kind of map is perfect for lethality, because you'll be able to dot spread quite a lot, assuming everyone's fighting at mid. You can use your corrosive grenades and all that kind of jazz to get really good fluffy numbers on there. If you're concealment, you can do a lot of different options. Really what you want to look at is stalling / harassing, because operatives are probably the best single class at stalling and harassing nodes. They're quite a way behind tank and healer combo, but that's obviously two classes, and that's all two priority classes, a healer and a tank, so they're both worth more than DPS, so you would expect them to be good at it. But I'm just going to show you what I mean by stalling or harassing nodes, because it feeds into a point we're going to make later on when it comes to tactics. So when you're doing this, look, the objective is always to cap the node, yeah? That's brilliant. If you can cap it, always cap it. You know, you don't want to not cap it for whatever reason. But that isn't necessarily the only reason why I'm coming across to this node. The reason I'm coming here, normally, is because I want them to drag as many players back as they possibly are willing to cap this node, because then they'll have less people at mid, so then more people at mid will die because my team has more people, yeah? That's the kind of fundamental behind it. You want it to draw them out as long as possible and as many as possible so that they have a disadvantage at mid. And that's what you want to do. Now, this is really good for operative stalling for a couple of reasons. First of all, in the middle, you have no line of sight. Look at that desync, boys. So, if there's no line of sight, as long as you pop out and press your button, you're going to shoot them. You're going to hit them with whatever. You got rifle shot, which has got a 30-meter range. So that means if he's capping from there, where is he? I can go all the way to here and still interrupt him with my basic attack. Grenade is great because it'll hit everyone in that cluster. Normally, they have changed the radius, so it is a little bit less now. And you have these great platforms here that you can kind of play peekaboo behind, get your stacks up, and also Hollow Reverse and Roll will get you to the other side, and that is enough to bamboozle a lot of players. I can assure you that. Another one is you can go up to the side here, peekaboo, roll, roll. You can get back in time to stop them capping. Even if they have a full, you know, the full duration. If there's no one chasing you and you aren't slowed, as long as you have 2 rolls available, you can do a full fucking Xbox 180 around there, come out the other side. Yeah, that's not going to work, buddy. And,
yeah, I need an instant to it.
And you can interrupt the cap as long as you use something like grenade or rifle shot that's going to actually hit the target. And you can do this until they commit players and commit players and commit players. The idea behind it is they commit more players, that they commit so much here that even when they cap it, it doesn't matter. It's a Pyrrhic victory because they've already been massacred at mid, so the fight is essentially won. The med pack at the back is great as well. It's worth tracking the 1 minute 30 for the respawn, because if you get that early on, you can then get it again at the end of the round. But typically speaking, you'll drag back 3 to 4 defenders fairly easily in most cases. If they can't chain together CC, oh come on, son, then it's not going to work. You have to kind of force the breaker. You have to force the further CC. And operatives are just really strong at stalling because they have that 30-meter interrupt, and they can go from point to point, line of sight with roll, which makes it hard to CC them in between. The other thing you'll be doing on an operative is sap caps. Now, I think we've gone over sap caps a lot. I don't necessarily think we need to cover it anymore. Oh, you got pulled out. Oh, lingers. But it's exactly the same as you would do it on anything else. You go in stealth, you sap them, they break, you use flashbang, you cap, if they use another break for whatever reason, if they have another break, then you can just wait for the resolve to drop.
Oh, hello?
Nate?
Hello?
We cannot hear you.
Uh,
Oh wait,
Hello?
he has a problem with the microphone. Yeah, Mike died. Oh no.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, sorry. I'm gonna have to hold my mic. Basically, I have this wireless mic, and I forgot to charge it last week, so it's just out of battery now. I'm just gonna have to hold it right here. I think I'm gonna have to grab a longer wire or something. I think I've got one in the drawer. But yeah, I've forgotten what I was saying. Oh, sapping. Yeah. So the sap routine is the same as anything else. Yeah, stealth, sap, cap, flashbang, cap. If they then white bar, wait till the resolve drops, vanish out, sap, cap again. I'm assuming they don't have any health back. This map is great, by the way, for in terms of sap capping, for multi-person sap cap. I've had a few, I've had quite a few 3-man sap caps on this, and lesser so, but 4, 5, and 6-man flashbang caps as well. You can generally get people to cluster up when they're chasing you, so you want to drag them in one direction, and then drag them back in another direction, and then as they all change direction to kind of catch up with you, they'll tend to cluster, and what you can then do is either grenade, because grenade is, you can place it and you can see it a bit easier, and it also stuns them all anyway. You can grenade to put them in place, and then if they break, follow up with a flashbang, or you can just go for the flashbang play. But it's very successful on this map. Wizbasky Weave, I'm not sure what the Wizbasky Weave is, but it sounds like a great tactic to me. You are the strongest defenders on this map, I would say. Purely because you can defend multiple people for multiple times. There's lots of little cubby holes you can go into. The med pack at the back is great to go for. So for single person defense, I think operative is probably as good as Sork or PT on this one. The reason I say that is different to other maps is it takes longer to get here than other maps. So you can potentially kill a PT or a Sork if you commit like 2 or 3 stealthers over here and just blow them up. It takes longer to get here to get the reinforcements. So you can exploit that if you like, or you can go for 2 sap caps, like 2 stealthers, and then when they move into position, you can go for the cap that way. So I would probably pick an operative for a defender on this map. The other thing I would say as an operative, if you're going to play the non-DPS game, yeah, so if you're going to play the non-farm for kills game, please learn how to counter 8 and learn how to call incoming, because that's how you will create opportunity in what's going on. If I see that they have 6 players at mid and they have 2 players harassing mine, then by all means go and harass theirs. Or if they've moved out of position and you can see that they have 4 players fighting in the dead man's area over here, like in no man's land, then by all means you can try and stretch them further by approaching that. But if you can't track the enemies in your head, then you're generally just going, oh well, I think I'll do this because it might be good, which I don't believe is a good premise for any tactic. But that's pretty much it with operatives. Maras, I mean, the only thing I can think of with Maras that's important on this one is predation. Predation is really good, and also the CC immunity if you do get stuck defending, but otherwise you want to be a mid stabbing people, I would have thought.
Yeah, you can sap cap, you do have 8 seconds stun plus in a grenade, so plus you have your own stealth, which can be used again. You can, for example, you can stealth up some Marauder, 8 seconds stun from the stealth, and then start capping. They're usually going to be forced to break it, actual cap, and then grenade, and then cap it off them.
I can't think of anything else specific.
Yeah, I mean, as a Fury, you sort of can defend and call for help. You have enough time because you stay around here defending.
Do you ever want the Fury Mara defending?
No,
Wouldn't they be better anywhere else?
They want to be on
sure, but in case of need,
in case they have to be,
Mara can defend.
In case you have 8 Marauders on the team or playing Fury,
since he has
one of them to defend.
Yeah, but since he has so much CC immunities and camouflage, and if he goes for a LOS, he stays, I don't know, back here, and then he throws his saber, and then go back in. He has time to defend and call for help. But yeah, that's...
The second Snave sees a Marauder defending, it's like game over.
No man, I always mess up against Marauds.
I mean, it happens sometimes that every class has to defend, even if it's not the fittiest one.
Have you seen how much I defend on my jug? Too goddamn much. Tell you that
Too much.
1% would be too much. It's like 80% of the time I'm defending.
Yeah, in general, it falls to the team to decide. All right, my healer would be better not defending, although it's a Sork. Maybe if I can, I should defend and let him go mid and help the team, and so on. Same goes for the Mara.
The best part when you do that and you swap defending is that within 5 seconds of you swapping, you see the person you swap with die, and you instantly regret the swap.
Well, they just wander off. You get to mid and then next you, like, what?
Yeah.
That's the classic one. Jugs, again, same kind of thing. Realistically, if you play in like a DPS jug, you want to be at mid trying to get that dot spread going on and getting all that fluff out. You can push people out into the explosion, or you can use it mid-round to like separate healers from tanks or healers from everything else. If you're defending, again, you can do a kind of like, you can get like a scuffed immunity, you know what I mean? Like you leap to them, which makes you immune for 4 seconds, then you push, then you leap, then you mez, and you can buy a little bit of time that way. You could just run away and kite. But you have a shorter window of defensive opportunities as a jug, so I would say they're one of the weakest ones to defend.
Yeah, and that's some vengeance because the raid doesn't have the so.
So assuming you can, then that's what you would do. But yeah, that's about it for everything, isn't it? I'm happy with all those classes. Tactics.
Yeah.
All right. So the first tactic I want to go over is the correct way to play this map. This isn't an argument. If you want to disagree with me, you're more than welcome to, but you're wrong. The best way to play this map is to ignore mid completely. And it's just called splits. So what you would do is, assuming you've got a team of 8 people, you do like a 4-4 split. So you send 4 people here, 4 people there. I mean, you can obviously mix this up. You can do like 5 and 3 or 6 and 2, depending on what your composition is and what you're trying to push and you know what's going on. But the mindset behind this play is, if they don't cap, they can't win. It doesn't matter how much better they are. It doesn't make any difference whatsoever. And you can basically corpse run. You can die and run back in, and the maximum time that's going to take you is 25 seconds, which I can tell you right now is not a long time in terms of war zones. And you're far more likely to have a significantly shorter travel time than that. It's usually going to be around about 10 seconds. You're going to have a good chance of getting it around 10 seconds anyway. So 4-4 splits would be you send, assuming you've got like say double heal, double tank, quad DPS, yeah. So you do tank heal 2 DPS, tank heal 2 DPS, something like that. The split, how you want to do it is entirely up to you. It depends on how much pressure you want to apply to each node. So you might want to put more DPS to one or less DPS to the other, or maybe no heals on one. Whatever way you want to do it is up to you. In regs, it tends to be whoever listens to you. So you aren't really going to pick a perfect composition each time. But splits is objectively the best strategy because it will prevent your enemy team from getting any points unless they can cap you. And that's why back in the 8 days, essentially what would happen is these games would last forever. Like no one would cap, and nothing would particularly happen with it. The strongest combo for doing, I would say the strongest way of doing a split right now would be a good tank and a good healer. Go into stall, and then 6 people go into you as the cap. Because having 6 people on the one side should give you a fairly decent numerical advantage, so you're more likely to cap you as. And you would be amazed at how long a tank and a healer can stall.
Don't die.
Well, when you bear in mind, like, if it takes you... I would imagine the average time is going to be roughly about 15 seconds. Yeah, 25 for a max, 10 for a min. The doors open...
10 seconds.
Yeah, 10 seconds versus 15. So it's going to be open, what, like a third of the time?
Almost half.
Yeah, almost half of the time. So you're looking at about 15. If no one caps any round, who gets to win at the end? I believe it goes on forever. They've changed that now, I think, so it's just random. Maybe it's done on kills, I have no idea. But there's no points on you. I don't know what the system is if no one caps.
I want to know what happens if you both hit 600 at the same time.
I don't think that's possible.
You if we just base cap everything.
But they would probably go off who capped first then, I guess.
I don't know. Could be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. The thing is, I don't think they're ever going to occur. The tiebreaker round happens after 9 rounds, but the tiebreaker round previously just went on forever. I had one game of Ancient Hypergate, which I believe lasted an hour and 15 minutes.
I would have left by that point, just saying.
I was determined to finish the game. But yeah, the tiebreaker round... I'm pretty sure they changed that, though, didn't they, Coggy Woggy, with the last wave of changes? Anyways, it's never happened since then, so I'm not sure. We'll assume it's the same way then, which is the tiebreak around whoever caps first gets it. In which case, you probably want to send one person to stall, 7 to try and cap you as. Send the best person you have to stall. But that's the fundamental play of splits. You don't ever go mid. You basically deprive their node whilst trying to get you a node. And generally speaking, with that strategy, whoever caps a node will win the game. So it's very important to stop any caps whatsoever. You've also got to bear in mind that all those kills add up. So you'll end up with like someone capping once in round 5 and they get like 400 points. Because they get it cumulatively. They get 10, you've got 10 kills in round 1 and then 10 kills in round 2. Well, that's 20 kills and so on and so forth. So don't be surprised if someone caps and they all of a sudden get loads of points. But that's the split strategy. Anything else to add on splits?
Yeah, I just want to mention that the reason why splits work so well is because the enemy team is very unlikely to be expecting it. So if you send 6 to yours, 2 to theirs, they're going to send like 6 people mid expecting a fight. And that means that you A, get your pylon, and B, if your tank and your hero are on comms together, they can probably sap cap and get the other pylon. And that's why it's so effective, because people don't expect it, and then they end up with both pylons, and the enemy team can't do a lot because they're at mid. Splits. Yeah, you're playing splits, and they have to split up, but they can't deal with it because your team's already in the correct position. They aren't.
Yeah. With that one, that's one of the reasons why I pretty much always go to the enemy node at the start of the game. I've had long thoughts and discussions about whether that's correct or not, whether going for the stall in round 1 is correct. I tend to do it now purely because if they go for splits, it is the only counterplay you have. It's the only way that you'll stop them from pretty much instantly winning the game. So that's why I tend to go there first of all now for that specific reason. But you don't see splits too much anymore because people tend to like just farm numbers at mid and go for kills. Which brings us on to the next one. Kills. Who wants to go over the kill strat?
You kill people repeatedly. Yes. Use any means necessary.
Yes.
Get them stuck on terrain so they have to stuck it. You push them out of mid so you get kills. Divide and conquer, isolate a person. I've seen 3 assassins and a pre-made sit outside a base and wait for one person to jump down and then massacre them every single time before to get a kill. And just absolutely ruin that player's life.
It'll work.
It works. Yeah, I'm not denying it works. We won the war zone. I mean, I'm just saying, I feel very sorry for that.
I think that's one of those like win more strategies where that's only ever going to work if you are always going to win. Because otherwise your team is down 2 players.
5. We were down 5, but their team was pretty crap. They had no tanks, they had no healers. We had 2 tanks, 2 healers. So even if they got to the points, they didn't have really any sustain, and our tanks and people didn't die at all.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I wouldn't recommend unless you've already won the game.
Yeah. But no, though it was obnoxious. But yeah, killing people. You kind of want to rack up the points early. As they mentioned, you get more points if you get kills in earlier rounds. So yeah, so use your raid buffs when you start your fight at mid if you don't split, because any kills in the first round, great. Just on kills and stuff like that, don't ever, if you die at mid, say you've got sent 1 person to defend, 1 person mid, 1 person to theirs and 6 mid, and then the enemy team has done the same. If you get a kill, and you're then 6 to 5 at mid, so you've then got a player advantage and should be able to push that. If you're on the team that has losing players, don't stay inside mid and die. You're giving up 3 points and nothing happens. And that then leads on to grouping up and not trickling in, because the out of times that you see, your team gets wiped, 2 people manage to get out of the base in time before the shutters closed, and they run straight round into 6 people of the enemy team who just absolutely murder them.
I always call that Bruce Lee, and I do. When they send their team in 1 at a time to get massacred.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and that's something the team that you don't want to watch out for that you don't do, as a team, you also want to be able to capitalise it if they do that. Because that's a free source of points, and they're easy killers because there's so few of them and there's so many of you.
Yep. And bear in mind, kills are worth more than orbs up until effectively it goes to a 6 times modifier.
Yeah.
So that's a long time.
Yeah.
Be doing for that strategy. We got quick. Oh, sorry. With kills as well. One thing I'll touch on this a little bit more later on. But with the kill strategy, that doesn't mean you could give up harassing the off node or anything else. Because if I can pull back 4 defenders, how do you think that affects the kill ratio up mid? 4v7 or 4v6, sorry.
Yeah.
They're gonna die.
They're all dead.
You know, so spreading them out or forcing them to make difficult decisions or forcing them to respond to different approaches is very strong on this map. Especially because they are non-coordinated teams, you know? So, something else to bear in mind.
Was it?
Home pylon as if.
Does it really? I've never noticed that.
I've not noticed that either.
I think that might have been added in after the fact. Because I can tell you right now, right? I can tell you exactly why everyone goes to the left on this map.
Oh
when this map was released, we played this.
If you cap it, it's the end of the war zone, so don't cap it.
Please don't cap it. Yeah. What happened was, we queued up for this, and someone said, what side do we go? And then someone said, I don't know, left. And then that was it. Everyone went left. And they've been going left ever since. So I don't, it's like NASCAR. You know, it's just one of those things, I guess. I guess we'll find out here what happens, because there's no points, and it's the last round here, isn't it?
No, we've gone into tiebreak, that's the thing.
Yeah, so there's no points.
I guess it would just refresh or reset.
But it ends, doesn't it? I mean, it ended before when we didn't cap anything. We'll find out.
Well, the capping doesn't matter, but the orbs that you bring still do. So if you cap a node, you won't get the 75 points, but you will get the points for bringing the orbs in that case. So you can still win the game at round 7 or later, just by bringing the orbs and capping.
I see what you mean by the lights on the pylons, like that's orange side and that's purple side. I get that, but here's the thing, the orange side is on the right, so that's not our home side.
No,
it might be in the game.
Our home side.
Our home side
our
is,
left.
our home side is purple, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know actually. What side am I on?
I think our home is on the left, so this direction, and it's yellow, so...
I don't know, I
think it's the opposite. I would
Yeah?
need... Hang on, let me just die, I'll tell you now. Oh, I can just jump off the...
20-second respawn time, by the way, he slash stuck it.
No, I'm just going to jump off the edge, I am.
Yeah, no, I did slash stuck and instantly regretting the decision. No, so yellow is to my left, and then purple is to my right.
Yeah, so in this case that would be incorrect, because I'm going to the wrong side as to what is practical. So... Yes, that is correct. There are different sides. That one is purple. I'm sorry, this one's orange and this one is purple. But because everyone's decided to go left, that's kind of changed how things are. But yeah, purple side, orange side. If you called out purple and orange, no one's going to come.
Yeah, they're gonna get question marks in chat.
You're easier with left, right, east, west, mine, theirs, ours, whatever. Yeah, and to be honest, that's probably my fault, because... I think it was Bernier actually who said go left, but then everyone else went left, and it's been going that way ever since. So I don't know. It's the same thing with go right in Void Star as well. That's my fault. Sorry.
We've been wrong all the time. Actually, we should have always called color.
Should have gone right. Oh, man.
Yeah, we should have always.
What can I say, guys? I just don't see color. I'm very progressive. All right, someone's going here. Quick way to reach mid, and I have no idea what you're talking about with that one. So.
Yeah. So when you're mid, instead of going all the way around to reach the pylon. I'll show you. You can simply jump up here, and go. Same goes
man, you
for,
just vanished.
Yeah, it's the sink, but I'm up here. And that also goes for the other way around. And if you get used to it, you just need 2 jumps. It's really easy. Pop, pop, and there you go.
Nice.
Or you get stuck.
You can also do that on the other side, but there are rocks, and I'm not sure if I managed to do that only. I was trying even before, only one time without force speed. With force speed is relatively easy. Without, I'm not sure it's even doable, to be honest, or even worth the time. If I do got stuck. Yeah, on the other side, by the way, it's easy. On this one, it's doable, but.
Oh look, you call one side rocks, one side not rocks.
Yeah. Yeah, I always do that. Yeah, it's way better. Maybe, yeah, it's way better than going all the way around either with rolls or you just roll one time, reach the point where those steps are, and then roll another time.
Smooth.
It's just there. You can do it with one jump if you're good. Scrub.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Learn the
You
yump.
need to find the right spots. I never bothered to do that on the rock side. I always do that to the other side, and yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I've got to hold my mic in my mouth here. Like here.
Ah, I see. Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, you also get the added benefit of desync, so you get perma-stealth for 2 seconds.
You always get the desync when you do that. Even on
Well,
the.
I'm not disputing that, it's just you shouldn't.
You're not supposed to. But yeah.
The next one you put on here is actually quite important. So, say, this will kind of tie in with splits as well. So say, for example, this is slowing the enemy team down in the preparation to a play, alright? So, this is my node over here, and I want to cap it, so I'm going to try and run over there and cap it. In the meantime, the enemy team has sent one player to run and cap that, and then has sent a few players to interrupt and stall. So as we drop down from the spawn point to try and cap it, their job is to CC, stall us, slow us, root us. Roots! Hands literally comes from that.
I don't have a route.
Yeah, that's literally where it comes from. So that's what you want to be doing. You want to like peel off 2 people. It's very good with tanks as well because they tend to have a lot of control. Send them over to the side to kind of block for the guy who's capping for you. I used to play against Cat and Sophelia. I used to play with them as well. The tank and healer combo. Cat's obviously a very good healer. Sophelia was a very good tank. And playing against them was just... The 2 of them were essentially an extra team. So it was like playing against 16 people. The real pain in the nips. You just couldn't kill them. They slowed you continuously. And if anyone died, they'd be back in the fight before you could kill the other one. So it was like... Just really hard to kill people.
It's like, you'd make them burn their cooldowns, or use their cooldowns. You'd manage to kill one of them, and then the other one would somehow still have all of their cooldowns ready to go and stall out.
It's just
obnoxious.
Russian kids, isn't it? What can you do? They're genetically battered at playing video games. Them, the Koreans, man, they're going to take over the entire world.
Yeah.
Right, we got here, don't trust you defend, be sure to trust you defender. What's that one?
Yeah, that means that if you want to normally, and in my specific case, if I'm a stealther, if you want a job well done, do it yourself. It happened a lot of times that...
It's true.
Yeah, we had a defender. We had a defender, and we thought, all right, it's good. Maybe it's also a good class to defend, and he didn't know what to do, and he got sep cap. I don't know, with a sniper standing right on the, not even in the trench, standing on the pylon. So always check the situation. Try to understand if the guy defending can defend. Essentially, always be sure of that, or try to.
That's
be sure
good
of
advice
that.
for every map and life in general.
Yeah. In this specific map,
and
it can cost you the whole map, actually, to have somebody inexpert to defend. It's not like, for example, like in Novari Coast, where if you lose a node for some time, it's alright. You can go back maybe, and sort of alright. Here, it's really hard then to take it back, and you lose a lot of points.
You want to stand here for a second, Shin? Oh, never mind.
Oh, sorry.
I'll do you next. I was going to show the next one if you know.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
So this is like
traversing me.
Yeah, this is a lot like you can just. I mean, you could just jump up there now, I guess. So maybe it's less important. But if you have an orb chain going, it happens quite a lot. Where if you're killing the enemy team or they're stalling or whatever, and you have 2 people maybe running orbs taking turns, because you can defend with 2 people rotating backwards and forward running orbs. What you can do is stand there, and then the person with the orb, if it's an operative or well, I guess, or jug or whatever, they can either intercede or hollow traverse to you. The good thing is, if hollow bugs out, he'll just put you further towards the node, so that's not bad. Actually, I want to try that.
I know, yeah, this is a bit like the thingy, where we sent them flying towards mid.
I got 29 seconds left on it, but it allows you that when they... So basically, say me and Shinra are doing this together as a team. When I get up here, he can drop down and go and get an orb, because I'm already here to defend. Once I've handed my orb in, what I can then do is like stealth out and move towards this area, so I'm defending, but I'm also allowing for the person to kind of like jump up to me if that's needed. You know, if that's something that we're going to be doing. So it's certainly something that you can. Oh, don't.
No, don't do that.
Stop pressing buttons. All right, let's try this then. No.
I don't think this quite. It doesn't quite have the physics that it does.
Did you try if I jump? If you get
I did it as you jumped, but it put me to the side of you, so I don't know. Maybe you could do it in other areas like this one. Yeah, that'll probably work.
Try to jump.
Okay, but I don't really know how I would use that. Okay, all right. Let me try. There's 20 seconds left. We'll have a look through in a second.
Yanra, try to jump, please.
Oh wait.
I got 10 seconds. There should be enough time. Oh, never mind.
No, we're about to.
I know the detonation takes time though.
You throw yourself into the detonation.
Yeah, I wanted to go out in a blaze of glory, man. See, I could have lapped face first into that. You deprived me, man. I wanted to go to Valhalla.
I mean, for one time that either Phantom Stride or Ultraverse would be helpful to skyrocket you, it doesn't work.
Okay, let me give this a try then.
Oh wait, hang on, you won't be able to do it with...
No. Nope.
Okay, so the physics here is slightly different.
Yeah, don't bother with this one then, I guess. Alright.
Yeah.
The other tactic I said was stalls. Stalls feeds into splits, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a split. I mean, all stalls by definition are splits, but not all splits are stalls. Not all stalls are splits. If I come here on my own to try and drag in defenders and that kind of stuff, that's just going to be a typical stall, and it's just there to harass the node. I think we've gone over that quite a lot already, so we'll just move on for that one. The next one is quick maths. So this is, as you can probably tell, a fairly mathematical war zone. When I say quick maths, what I want you to look at is how many points are they getting each round for kills and how many points are you getting each round for kills. You can track to see how much... If they're pulling ahead of you each round, that means if you carry on doing the same tactic, you aren't going to win. So you need to adjust things. Now, the way that you adjust things can come in a couple of different flavors. You can go for a stall to stop them from getting any points. You can go for a double cap to get twice as many points. The other thing you can do is switch to orbs. So if it's a relatively close game, like let's say I'm gaining 100 points every round and you were gaining 110. What I could do then is when we get to the final round is if I run for, I'd have 500 points and you'd have, what do you have, like 560? So you would then win at the end of the next round if you capped it. So we'll just keep it as it is, 500 and 560. If my team runs 4 orbs that round at 27 points each, we'll go over 600 and we'll win instantly. So if you see that you're going to lose the game, the current course that's going on, you can adapt and you can change your approach to try and prevent that from happening. If you're just doing a straight kill strat and you're getting out-killed, you can go for the stall, you can go to run orbs, or you can go for the double cap. Obviously the double cap is always something you want to be going for, but it's something you can try and make a more pointed play towards with the quick math side of things. But it's important to track the maths on this one, and it's important to know how many points you're going to get for things. And it's quite hard to do, to be honest with you. A lot of the time in this map, if you see me streaming it, you'll see me squinting at the scoreline to see what it is, and then trying to look like 3, 6, 9, trying to work out exactly what's going on as to how many points they're going to get each round. So it's certainly fun to track in your head. Speaking of this, the next strategy, I guess, in air quotes, is please don't feed. What I mean by this is, let's say you've been trying to stall the enemy node, yeah? They've got maybe 4 defenders there, and there's like 2 of you, and you've stalled them for a minute, it's great, whatever. Don't then just run back in once they've capped it, because all you're doing is running in face first to 4 players, and you're going to die. And you're going to die again, and you're going to keep dying, and all that's doing is giving them free points. So unless you have a significant stall, as in if it's 1 person versus 4, I don't really care, because hopefully you dying over and over against 4 will allow your team to kill more people, because they're down half a team, yeah? But if you don't have that, like if there's like say 5 defenders and you're running in one at a time, sorry, like 2 or 3 at a time, you're just going to die and nothing's going to happen. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. You are literally giving them the game. Please don't do that. And I don't know, putting grenades are cool.
Grenades are cool, yeah. I added it because I cannot stress enough how grenades in general are useful in this map.
Oh my god, try hard using grenades in rags. Oh man, my TeamSpeak just died. 1 second, sorry.
The explosion.
Sorry, I disconnected.
Oh, sorry. I was saying how grenades are useful in this map is really amazing. Not just for a sub cap or whatever, for a capping. Just when people are, for example, on their way back from... is it you again?
No, that's fine. That's normal.
Okay. When people are on their way back to mid, just before the explosion, and you can grenade them and they don't have a breaker, that could get you a lot of points, for example, for the explosion and when they die, or to help a mate capping. If you manage to grenade some people and he gets enough time to cap, or whatever, just use them. They're very useful here. I don't know if Snave has still problem. Oh, we cannot hear you, Snave.
Hello, test.
No,
Yeah,
no,
Yeah.
we can.
All right, cool. Yeah. So we want this just the sap capping part now.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is sap caps installing, all right, and we're not going to go into sap caps as much as we have previously. You can watch any other video, and we've gone through a lot. We've done a lot in this one as well. Okay, this is more about the type of play that a sap cap is, the strategy of sap cap and installing. And I wanted to clear up some misconception about how stalling works on this map, and I wanted to clarify it was good for your team. And I've kind of done it a fair bit as it goes along, but I really want to drive this home because it's the biggest point that people get completely messed up on this map. So if you're a stealther and you go there in round 1, you let them cap and then sit in stealth for 2 minutes, hoping that you're going to steal it at the end of the round, then you are a burden to your team, a burden to your friends, and a burden to your family. That is it. Even in later rounds, if you were sitting doing nothing for 2 minutes with the hope you can steal a cap at the end, it's normally going to end up with you not getting the node and your team losing because they were down a player the entire time. You don't want to do that. You aren't being clever, and just because it works every now and then because they've got some idiot defending who didn't want to be there in the first place doesn't mean that it's a good strategy, doesn't mean that it's a good tactic. I think the idea of planning a strategy around a person failing is completely incorrect. Yep. You're relying on something else going wrong rather than forcing things to go right, and I will have none of it, thank you very much. But all you're doing if you do that is you're hamstringing your team a player. And if 2 people do it, then you're hamstringing them by 2 players. Stalling in AHG is like the walking a tightrope, yeah? It's a balancing act where can you pull enough people into a defensive position whilst not feeding them points so that your team can push the pressure advantage elsewhere on the battlefield, yeah? So if I stall 4 players for a minute and then die, which isn't that rare to be perfectly fucking honest with you, will my team be able to recoup 1 kill with the enemy missing an additional 3 players for a minute? And the answer is probably yes. They might not get the kill, but the additional pressure they'll put on people during that 1 minute, or however long it's going to be, will pay off later. Those players will die earlier because they've been taking damages from 3 additional sources, yeah?
Well, maybe 2, because maybe another of your teammates is at the other side of the map, either trying to cap or defending a node. So
in terms of the number side of things, you would assume that it's 1 defending each side as typical. So you go 1 over there is -1. So it's 7, 6 defenders. If they send another 2, then it's -2. So they're missing 3 additional players, but it's 2 players as a minus, yeah. So basically, when you're doing the whole how to counter 8 game, yeah, just -1 off the number of defenders they have, and that's how many you're stalling. So if they have 3 defenders, you're stalling 2. Because typically they'll have 1. Make sense?
They should have 1. If they don't have any, then you know.
Typically it's 1, so you're down 1, they're down 3, you're up 2.
yeah.
Yep. But in terms of your team itself, it means they're missing 3 players, which means that you'll have 6v3. 6v5. If they have a person going to you a node, which I don't even think is bad in this situation, then it would be 6v4. If they don't have a person going to you a node, they haven't capped, you have capped, and you have a 6v5. Like, it's always better that way, yeah, because you've gone over the 1 threshold. If it's 1 person, then it's not so much of a difference. If it's 2, then it is a difference. But that's what you've got to do, is work out how that advantage can be pushed somewhere else. So I would. There's no rule to which is going to work best and how it's going to be. I would just, if you're going to play stalls, make sure you know how to play stalls. If you're going to play sap cap, make sure you know how to play sap cap. Otherwise, there's no point in you doing it. You're going to run in and you're going to mess it up and you're going to die and you're going to feed points. So just be aware of what you're trying to do, and if you don't know what you're trying to do, then don't do it. If your team commits for stalls, yeah, so if you commit to a split or you commit to a stall, then you play the stall. You don't do anything else. You don't go mid, You don't run across and try and fight someone in the middle of nowhere. You play for the stall. That is it. That's all you need to do. If you run orbs, so say for example my team is doing a 4-4 split, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to run an orb because we'll get points that way. Well, first of all, you might not even have a pylon, but if you do have a pylon, you hand that in, and then they cap their node. You've gained what, like 12 to 27, sorry, 18 to 27 points, but you've lost 75 plus kills, which is going to be more. Quick maths. So you haven't really gained anything. Now, there are obviously going to be some changes to this. Like I just said, when you run orbs, they give you points immediately, and you can use that to kind of come back from a losing game. So there's always going to be exceptions to it. Like, if you can see the stalls easy peasy, if there's no pressure and nothing's happening, it's not a threat, by all means do it. But there's a risk-reward, and you need to be aware of the risk and the reward. If it's not worth it, then don't do it. If you think, oh, I'm not sure, don't do it. This isn't worth it. The sap caps in this are the easiest in the game. So if you are defending, then please be aware of it. And the one thing that I really wanted to mention, so I saved it till last, CC awareness is a really large part of stalls and sap caps. So I know that if you play in Marauder and you've got like 2 giant glow sticks and you're all hyped up, but you've got a can of Mountain Dew and some Cheez-Its and whatever, it's really tempting to YOLO face charge into the sap defender, but pretty please don't. And similarly, try and read the positioning of the enemy, because with a 6-second cap, like, if I'm just spam capping, all you've got to do is interrupt them for the first 2 seconds and then hard stun them. Any hard stun is above 4 seconds. I mean, apart from, like, carb and things, but hard stuns are 4 seconds. So, 4.5. So if you can get me through the first 2 seconds, then I can cap that. So it's just be aware of the positioning. Even things like carb, man, they can cause massive problems. Like, carb and grenade, not necessarily enough to prevent to do a full sap cap. But if they haven't noticed it in the first second or after the first grenade, then you're going to cap that. It's only 6 seconds. 6 seconds is short. So that's my... Please stop charging face first into my CC targets, please. in before, nothing else happens now for the rest of my days playing this game than people charging face first into CC. Although that is pretty much how it is now anyway. Also, another tip is don't use your breaker at the end of the round. If you're defending, it is better to die in the explosion than to use your breaker. In fact, a lot of the time, I will intentionally die in the explosion. The reason being is if I'm playing stalls, if I'm at mid and I get put in combat, or I get CC'd or slowed or killed or whatever it is, then I will be stuck at mid, and I cannot get there. If I die, I'm always going to come here. And then I can get back there. The gates are always open. Sorry?
And the gates are always open.
Yes, they open up instantly. And I can get here as it's opening up to be capped. So if they were capping it, I'm here in plenty of time to interrupt it. If they have gone inside and they get slowed down and stuck, then I can probably cap it. So sometimes you intentionally die at the end of rounds. It's not ideal, I know, but it's still the best play. Is there anything else you wanted to add there, guys?
I just something to do with operatives and group stuff. And you might want to correct me on this. If you're going across and you have someone who's not in stealth following you and you're irritated by them, don't group stealth them, because you've just revealed that not only is it not one person going, but there's actually 2 of you because you just stealth.
Can I up that by 1, please? Don't group stealth. There you go.
Don't group stealth your teammates.
No, just don't use it. The amount of uses for it are incredibly niche, and the majority of the time I see people using it, it absolutely fucks everything up. So, like, people will say, "Oh, we'll group stealth at the start of the game." Yeah, cool. You just like slow it now to get to the first objective. You're already behind in the race. There's some niche uses for it, but what I would say is generally, unless you're like, I know exactly what I'm doing right now, take it off your toolbars. Like, just don't use it. Also, the people in your infiltration or smuggle little bubble don't get you a stealth level. So as I always say, God bless infiltrate, giving away stealth positions since 2014. Just see everyone. Just chuck a grenade in. So it's not that, it ain't that clever, put it that way. Man, 17 rounds. Oh, 17 points per kill. Jesus, how high does this go?
I found the point, by the way.
Shh.
It's right in the middle. Quite reliable. Okay, wait.
Oh, the one I was doing was slightly to the side.
It's like here, isn't it? Oh no.
It's here.
This one?
Back.
And you don't even have to
charge. You can do this on your own.
Please.
Yeah. Sorry, what did you say, Wolf?
You don't have to charge, run to and jump. You can just standing right down and jump.
Yep.
Man, that desync is terrible, isn't it?
Yeah. That's gonna get so abused now.
Well, you can basically use that for like 2 seconds a minute, you can't? You just like run in a circle, running up and down, kiting around.
You just jump up, jump down, jump up, jump down.
Yeah, a Merc with hydraulics just doing that, shooting you in the tits the entire time. That wouldn't be fun. Right, does anyone have any questions? Again, this is a complicated map. The strategies are very complicated until you realise that you should only ever do splits, and then it becomes very easy. But if you want to go through the whole thing, there's quite a lot to it, so if anyone has any questions, please don't be shy. Alright, well I guess not. So what do you want to do next week, boys? Void Star? No, we done Void Star.
Novari Coast.
Novari Coast. Is it Nove or Novari?
I don't know.
Novari, normal.
Put a poll on your YouTube description and see what the result is.
I can call it Novari Coast. I don't even know why I call it Novari. It's not even spelled that way, is it?
I don't know.
Gotta be Navarre Coast.
Novari Coast.
Throw it into Google Translate and see what comes back.
I'm gonna call it Novari Coast forever now. Just like Zeust.
It sounds so Italian, actually. There's a city that it's...
Hey, Bibbidi Boys, Novari Coast.
Novari Coast.
You come over here, we get some matzah. Shades, I know you're missing one ball, mate, but I've told you before, the balls don't respawn IRL. You need to stop asking me. Alright, so that's everything. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next week for the penultimate edition of PTSD, where we go over Novari Coast.
Novari.
Ta-da,
Thank you,
guys. Bye-bye.